Okay, we're here at the side of the garden, and of course the other side, I should say, the side across from the long side across from the sunflowers. The sunflowers are on the other side, but of course this is my squash row, and the up there is the uh, orange giant amaranth. And this week we picked, I think it was 6 or 5.5 5-gallon buckets of squash, and I sliced them with my thick I guess they call it a mandolin slicer. It's the thing you slide stuff across. And I slice them and I put them in the dehydrator, and they're good no calorie or low calorie substitute for a snack like potato chips, and you can eat all you want, and they're not going to well, they'll give you some vitamins and stuff, but they're not going to give you any fat or weight. And they are quite tasty. And I prefer the ones that get a little bit overripe. They're firmer and they don't shrink up as much. Okay. Okay, we're here at the middle garden at the far end. And of course, I don't know if you can see this, but there's quite a few tomatoes, and that tomato right there, if I can zoom in, I ate one here the other week. It was a little bit bad on the bottom, but I was able to cut it off, and I'll tell you what, I took it in, I didn't know if it would be any good, but that is absolutely the best tomato I have ever eaten. It doesn't have any acid to mount to anything, and it's very, very large. And of course, I'll walk over here. These rows are 120 feet long, and of course, this is my row of peppers. And of course, up there on the hill, there's another row of tomatoes, but I'm not going to bother tying them up. It is what it is, and I've struggled now for the past 2.5 weeks to get these tomatoes tied up. We have the rain, which we don't usually get in August, and it blighted the tomatoes real bad, so I made an endeavor to tie them up to save all the work I have vested in it. And of course, this week I shipped out 5 5-gallon buckets of green tomatoes, and I have another 3 laying down there, which trying to figure out what all I can do. If you have any ideas that you can make something out of green tomatoes, or how to use green tomatoes without having to use a lot of sugar, send me a message or a PM, and certainly give it some consideration. We have all kinds. We have green bells here, peppers. We have Kong Paos. We have an assortment of salsa. I buy a pack off of Burpees of salsa mix, and it's got jalapenos and different peppers. This year I don't see that it made it. I always plant, I'm trying to think, it's the world's hottest pepper. I had a lot of them last year. I have one in the greenhouse that's growing, but the ones that I had planted out, well, this year was a rough year for a lot of things with the late frost. Okay. On this last rain, brought powdered mildew really bad. And the squash and the pumpkins are suffering quite a bit, but you can see here, I think you can see all my acorn squash. And of course, I noticed a little bit ago that there were quite a few really, see if I can get them in here, stumbling around, beautiful flowers on the okra. And I've been getting okra for quite a while now, and can't eat it fast enough. But I planted 3 kinds this year to see what would do well here in the north, and 2 of them did not do anything. And this here is I think it's called King David, an heirloom variety. Okay. I thought I would share with you the change in the upper patch. You can see this is the last planting of corn I had, and I just checked it a little bit ago, and it'll probably be picked this week. If it's warm and it's humid, I'm sure it'll be ready. It's just not quite filled to the tip. So, but this that we planted earlier, as you can see, we picked that. That's where we got the corn I was talking to you about. There was, I think it was 8 rows here, and we picked that, and had quite a bit of corn. And of course, as soon as my friend left with his truck loaded, I came up with the mower, mowed it down, got the tiller, tilled it, and planted groundhog radishes and turnips. And of course, there you can see the reeds yellow dent, and we'll have to take the camera up in the air so you can see the height, and then of course the Japanese Hollis popcorn. And I guess that'll conclude this week's walk around. Thanks for watching, and may the Lord bless.